を捕食するのか。こんなものを作るのははみるからだな。困ったやつだ。実験の後始末もせんのではな。
Good day guys, coming here. Welcome back to Langrisser and news from the future. So on this part of this video, we'll be featuring the second characters, or should I say, the second summonable characters for this upcoming collaboration banner. So guys, ready? Here we go. And welcome to part 2 of the Langrisser collaboration Encyclopedia. And surprise, surprise, surprise. As everyone thought, the second summonable character is gonna be Guyver Unit 3. And here Zilong just gave you guys a big whampy bang on the face. And this character is none other than what is currently seems to be the final boss or the final antagonist of the series, Archanfel. Which actually kind of like a pun on the word archangel. The only difference is that instead of G, they replace it with an F, and the pronunciation sounds weird in, well, you call it in the English version. However, in the Japanese version, it definitely sounds much more, in my terms, cool, pretty, and sexy. Yup, in his Japanese pronunciation, this is pronounced as Aruka-feru. Aruka-feru. Yup, it definitely sounds nowhere near its counterpart in its English pronunciations. So, this means that Guyver Unit 3, aka Agito, is gonna be the free heroes that you'll be able to obtain in the event. So some may view this as, again, grotesque, disgusting, or ugly because it's a monster or alien design, while those who appreciate it will find it magnificent and beautiful. Not to mention that he is full of shiny and gold plate armor. And instead of armor, is more of an organic armor. So everything that you see consists of his body. So some quick backstories about Aruka-feru. So his character voice counterpart is apparently voiced by Yasunori Matsumoto-san, who is more famous for voicing the previous collaboration characters Gori from the Slayers collab. And another character that you guys might know will be another series that definitely one of my favorite, however has not been involved during that collaboration, is from Yoroiden Samurai Troopers. He voiced again as one of the bad guys known as Yamimasho Anubis. So if you are interested in a series, feel free to support. And that's the same said for Guyver. And alright, back to the description of the characters. So again, some backstories as written here, like summary. So he came from, or he is the leader of this organization known as Kronos, and he's known as the leader of the 12th Zolot. And in the distant past, when the creators created humans and tried to control them, so in order for someone to dominate, to rule and control them, they created this highest tuning organic body, and this is the best masterpiece they ever created on the blue planet known as Earth, being the first of them all. Aruka-feru has the power to rule exit against the rest of the Zonoids, and Zoolord having the one that who possessed the strongest power of them all. So this is roughly the summary translations that I did for the characters. So a much more in-depth story will be that in the distant past, in the Blue Planet, when the creators arrived, they created Aruka. So this apparently is their masterpiece, or this is a special unit or an individual body that it created for the sake of ruling the planet, so he can rule and overlook and seize the project of turning more, if not most, useful organic life form in the Blue Planet into a stronger form of creatures, which is currently in present day known as Zonoids, by combining the plus aspects of different organizations with the alien technology. However, after the disaster event caused by Unit G, aka Guyver, in the past, the creators were so scared and furious that the project that they deemed initially to be strong, useful, and possibly able to further provide a stronger ruling for them to venture into the other universe or space, turns against them. So without any second thought or without any discussions or thoughts of trying to salvage the situation, the first thing that they did is just open up a portal. They will just try to run away to another dimensions or other planet, and the next thing they do is apparently summoning a great meteorite that is even greater than the Blue Planet itself, before saying their farewells to Aruka and ask him to perish with the planet, as they deem that humans that they have created are, well, failures, as they are the subject that will turn against their creators. So, overwhelmed with the feeling of anger and betrayal from the creators, that instead of just only abandoning the Blue Planet, his creators also abandon him and demanding him or commanding him to perish together with the Blue Planet. Aruka decide to turn against the creators by using most of his power to destroy the oncoming meteorite, and manage at the same time to probably destroy a few creators' units, and saw that he will rule the Blue Planet, become their king, and will kind of hunt down the creators one day. And because of this battle, he has been slightly or gravely injured by the telepathical attack from the creators, because he have decided to turn against them. And on the previous video, it was mentioned that the creators, when they create all these creatures, they will do some telepathical force field or code implantations in their mind that they always have to subdue under their rules. But apparently Aruka managed to, well, overcome that, but at a cost that will weaken his body. Not only that, in order to better rule the planet over the years, he find any entity, human or not, as long as they are worthy, he will give part of his power that is taken from, that is siphoned from those crystals around his body, and gave the other entities part of his power, and in return they will become a lesser Zonoid, a lesser Zoolord. So he stands as the highest hierarchy, as the top of them all, the true Zoolord, then followed by other Zoolords whose color are not gold in color but instead are much more purplish, then followed by zoonoid creatures whom they create and upgraded from mostly human test subjects, merging with other creatures' DNA. And with that comes the end of descriptions of Alucard. Of course, there are even more in-depth details, but if you guys are interested, feel free to check out the video. As Alucard is a creature that is stronger to none other than the penguin. All penguins are dangerous and furious creatures that, well, perhaps Alucard is the only one that can annihilate all this threat. So alright, coming to his faction first. So you guys might have guessed it. Again, the factions are from Yellers, Mythical, and Collaborations. And before we proceed to his exclusive skills and 3C, I believe at this point a lot of fans might be asking the questions, just why? Why are Team Zilong making more, or if not most, of the collaboration heroes having Yellers in their faction buff, aside from the collaboration faction? So apparently, if you can see this word, so I believe in the English version is going to be written as Yellers. However, that is the wrong translations. The word 传说彼端 does not mean Yellers. It actually means, or its true meaning refers to the legend of the other sides. This is actually not a pun, however, the intention is that the original continent that starts off the war of the light and darkness, or chaos with Luceris, is apparently at El Silete. However, as Langrisser 4 onwards, the battle stage is no longer on El Silete. However, it was on a new continent known as the Land of Yellers. And this is why, for the Yellers faction, it is known as 传说彼端, which means Mukonagawa in Japanese, and that means the other side, or should I call it Densetsu or Densho no Mukogawa, that means the legend of the other side. And this is why most collaboration heroes has the following faction in it, because the Yellers has an actual meaningful terms in it has a very meaningful terms in it for the descriptions, for those who are just curious. And now, for this magnificent creatures, talents, skills, and 3C. So we'll be going through on the talent and watch to the end for the translations that are being done. And of course, the same is said for the items build. Towards the end, we'll be putting on both skills translations and the recommended item builds. So stay tuned, guys. So, Alucard talent. The price of salvation. So the effect are as follows. Number 1, ignore unit class disadvantages. 2, increase intelligence by 20%. 3, skill you use will not enter cooldown. 4, gain 15 layer of energy at the start of the match. 5. When you cast skill, energy will be consumed instead based on the cooldown of the skill. For example, a black hole has a 5-turn CD, so if you have 15 layers of energy, 5 will be consumed and you will be left with 10 energy instead. 6. When you end your turn, you can choose to enter deep sleep mode. Deep sleep mode will have the following effect. First, it will make you unable to move, attack, or use skills. Second, when you remove this mode, unit HP will be reset and you'll gain 15 layers of energy. Third, the whole effect lasts for a turn and it cannot be immune nor dispelled. So this is definitely taken from this creature's current state of event in the manga. As Arukaferu, currently his body state is a very weak state. He constantly fall into deep sleep due to him very weak, as his power has been shared or siphoned to other Zoolots. So it's pretty cool that they try to make as much as they can to be as similar to the original works. So basically in deep sleep you are just really like being sleep by Bozo. You'll not be able to move, attack, or use skills. However, this effect only lasts for a turn, and after a turn your HP will be reset. You will gain an extra 15 layers of energy, and the thing is that you cannot be immune to this, nor can this effect be dispelled, so you're definitely very vulnerable when you enter this mode. Okay, now moving on to his exclusive skill. The first exclusive skill 1 is known as Psychic Blast. It's a 1C skill, has a CD of 3 turns, the range is 2, AoE type is magical single target. The effect are as follows. Number 1, attack and deal 1.5 times damage to target enemy. Number 2, damage to soldiers unit increased by 20%. 3, before battle, reduce target's enemy intelligence and attack by 20% for 2 turns. Number 4, in this battle, units will not take close combat penalty. And this means that despite being a ranged mage or demon class, Arukaferu is able to use makers of these skills to do either a close range or a ranged attack against his enemy, as these skills will allow him to avoid or not take any close combat penalty. Then moving to exclusive skill 2. Oops, sorry. Exclusive skill 2 is known as Descend. It's a 2C skill, has a CD of 4. The range is 5. The AoE type is single target. They have both passive and active. Moving to passive first, the effect are as follows. Number 1, when you trigger your talent of going into deep sleep, you can teleport to a nearby position's ally 5 blocks within your range. Number 2, you can appoint the target ally as a proxy agent. The proxy or agent effect provide the following effects. First, for 2 turns, you will take all attacks for the caster if the caster is within the 3 blocks range. Second, this proxy or agent unit will now ignore class disadvantages. So this is apparently a very cool and good skills, mainly because of the second effect that it will make. Not only it will allow the unit to help guard Aruka, it will also cause them to ignore class disadvantages. So this will greatly raise the potentials of other ally units, and not to mention it actually bring out the true worth, or probably the true worth and value of the last hero banner, Gun. So without triggering his second buff effect, by combining or comboing with Aruka descent skills, he can straight start up having ignore class disadvantages, and that's pretty good. Then, for his active skills, number 1, teleport to nearby positions of an unit within the range. Second, you'll be able to move 3 blocks and attack again. 3. When using these skills, for each block you're away from the target originally, you will need to consume an additional layer of energy. This means that this skill's CD is 4. So if you have 15 energy, and when you cast the skills, you'll consume 4 energy and you're left with 11. However, if the enemy is, example, 3 blocks away from you, instead of just consuming 4 layers of energy, this whole skills apparently will consume 7 energy instead. Number 4, after using the skills, your talent Deep Sleep effect will not trigger, and buff turn you had will not be reduced. So this is pretty cool. It's an act against skills for this hero, and you can get teleport. Then again, he has more than 2 exclusive skills. He has up to 4 exclusive skills given to us, so this is pretty cool. And you can see this is like his final rush form. Exclusive skill 3, Energy Beam Reflection. It's a 1C skill, has a CD and AoE of now. The effect as follows. Number 1, when being attacked into battle, consume 2 layers of energy. 2. For this battle, the damage you take will be reduced by 20%, and you'll reflect 30% of the damage you receive. So apparently this is a passive skills, and it is pretty cool that despite you need to consume 2 layers of energy, it definitely increased the survivability of Aruka. You have 20% damage reduction, and not only that, you will be able to reflect 30% of the damage from your enemy. So depending on how you play your build and enchantment, there's a chance that you might be able to reflect the damage back to your enemies and cause them to die based on their own attack. Then coming to exclusive skill 4. Exclusive skill 4 is known as Void Barrier or Space Mask. It's a 2C skill, has a CD of 4. The range is self. AoE type is single target. And again, you have both passive and active effect. For the passive, number 1, when energy layer is not less than 5, Arukafel cannot be killed in the death blow. 2. Upon taking the death blow damage, Arukafel will enter deep sleep mode. 3. This effect can only be triggered once per battle. So apparently he has a revival effect, but with a cost that will only trigger when your energy level is not less than 5. So you will take the death blow, you will survive, so you will not be resurrected with even more HP, because after taking the death blow and survive, you will straight up enter the deep sleep mode, which means that the next turn, following turn, when you wake up from your deep sleep, your health will be reset again. So this on straight off, which is pretty cool. The only downside is that, unlike Guyver Unit G1, you can only resurrect once per battle. Active effect. Number 1, cast and obtain command aura effect. First, all allies 2 blocks around you cannot be targeted by enemy skills from out of 3 block distance or more. This means that if your enemies, once you cast the skills, if your enemies try to hit you from afar, mostly characters, one example will be characters like Ender Kelmo, aka Yani. When she tried to, after she opens up a portal, her range increase. If she try to stay from 5 blocks away from you and try to cast any single target skills, she will not be able to because of this command aura effect. So basically you have a barrier that shield you from being target, a mass barrier. So this is a upgraded version or power up version of the shield effect from Epsilon. Then the second effect, when enemies move within the command aura range, each movement will consume an additional movement speed when they are inside the command aura effect range. The command aura only lasts for 1 turn. And that's it for the exclusive skill 4, and overall it's not too bad, and it's slightly strong. However, it may not be that good, but also may not be that bad. The reason being that it has 2 abilities, able to shield you guys from a long range attack. Then second is that if enemy come close, they will have problems trying to move around to touch the target that they actually wants to attack, because every step they move will consume an additional movement speed. The only downside is that this command aura effect only lasts for 1 turn. So if you want to use the skills, every turn you have to consume your energy to cast this skill effect. And not to mention that the CD is 4, and this means to cast these skills, you need to consume 4 layers of energy. Right, moving on to its 3C. The 3C is known as Space Pressure. It has a CD of 5, the range is 3, and the AoE type is magical 4 blocks. Again, it has both passive and active. For passive, number 1, at the start of the turn, for every 5 layers of energy you had, increase damage deal by 10%. However, the max cap limit stays at 40%. So meaning at the start of the turn you will have 15 layers of energy, and that means your damage is being increased straight up by 30%. Then all you need to do is sleep for a turn, and when you wake up next turn, your energy will be reach higher than 15, and you straight up hit your 40% cap. meaning at 20 layers of energy, you will be able to reach the 40% damage increment easily. And not to mention, in case you guys are wondering, the effect states at the start of the turn. So once the new turn start, and if you already have more than 15, you have at least 20 energy, you'll receive your increment of 40% cap damage until the next turn starts again. Active. Number 1, deal 0.4 times AoE damage to enemies in range. Number 2, you will cause teleportation's effect. The effect as follows: cause damage enemy's position to change. Number 3, cause the block in the center of target point or target locations to have a one-turn special terrain effect known as unstable space. Unstable space has the following effect. It will provide a command aura that, first, enemies 2 blocks within the range will have a 30% chance of being teleported to 1 block around its positions. Second, this effect has a higher terrain coverage priority. And with that, we end the sections for the new hero, Aruka. So what do you guys think? If this is a very strong and magnificent creature created by the creators, or his ability is normal or is weak? Leave it down in the comment sections below. And that's it for the Langrisser collaboration encyclopedia. And alright, thank you guys for watching. So this is Kami, we have almost come to the end, and in case you guys are wondering if Arukanfel is gonna be a strong powerhouse, the answer can be yes and no. So it depends on the synergy with your team and also the faction. However, currently, compared to Guyver Unit G1, there are definitely much more players using Aruka than Unit G1, and he's much more flexible and easy to play because in the game, most of the players right now in the first turn, they will not be able to easily reach your current position. So it is safe to say that there's more than 50% of chances that in PvP games, at the start of the match on the first turn, you can just let Aruka to go into deep sleep and recover as much energy as you can, so that you can increase or push your damage to the max against the enemy, because he has other AoE skills like Black Hole. So he is a AoE spammer, who has great synergies to go with Lina, as he's quite flexible. And if you do not want to go into just pure damage alone, Aruka has other skills at his disposal, such as the passive skills, the active and passive support skills that cause enemies to not able to target you when they are at 3 blocks away from you or more. So this is definitely a very great countermeasures against enemies who are playing single target skills from a further distance. Another great thing about the support skills, the passive active skills that prevent from targeting, is that even after taking AoE damage such as Heaven Sanctuary, because you're just within the range, they didn't mention about that the effect will be cancelled, unlike Epsilon's shield. Once you take your damage, the shield will break off and you need to wait for 2 more turns before you can trigger the skills. So this thing will just keep going even after taking a non-targetable AoE damage skills. So basically just focus on stopping any skills that needs to target if you are away from it. So it's pretty cool, and I've currently in the meta that more players are using Aruka in the box, and he's gonna get picked when enemies box are mostly playing with single target heroes with great range, so he can make use of these skills to safeguard his enemy and increase their survivability. Or once he have recovered enough energy, he can just go in, teleport into the enemy side and just spam them with all the AoE he had in his hand. So that's it. This is Kami. Remember to like and subscribe, and hope this video helped, and see you guys on the next part video featuring the free given hero Agito Makishima, aka Guyver Unito 3. This is Kami. Thank you and goodbye.